Martha, he's on time today. It's amazing. Oh wait, that's me. Good morning, people. Who's the people who are here already? Good morning, and yeah, I started the show on time for once. Maybe that's why there's not that many people here, but it is what it is. Welcome, and I'm going to try to keep the topics down today so I can make sure I get to the hashtag and I make sure I get to the Twitter trends. So hey, I have basically two main themes today, and it's an epidemic debate coming up on the Morning Night Live. See you in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. Stop the music, or it already stopped, I guess. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Night Live on today, February 26, 2020. It's Hump Day and the Morning Night Live. I'm here in my lovely little Timberwolves shirt, which I don't know if I should be so proud of that. But anyway, good morning, everybody. And it's a good day not to have coronavirus yet, although there's a good chance you might get it. We'll talk about that a little bit today. Also, the Democratic debate was last night. Yeah, that shit show. Anyway, and then also just one thing that I didn't get to yesterday that I wanted to start with today. But before I do that, let's say good morning to everybody who's already here, everyone in the chat, and whoever's watching. First, good morning to Mitch the Ripper, who is first and gets the bell. Good morning, Richard, my friend from down under. Good morning, Green Badger Outdoor. Oh my goodness, I already got a super chat today. Let's see, thank you, Lamented Guide, who says, morning, PDawg, hope your day's going well. Mine was literally shitty. That's not as in, whoa, wait a minute. Literally shitty, that scares me. I hope your day's going well. Mine was literally shitty, as in I had to work an endoscopy machine today that sucks the shit out of you while they scope your colon. And with that mental image out of the way, what's on the menu today? Hey, well, I gotta have one of those sometime soon. They keep telling me, well, my wife keeps telling me, my wife, the nurse, Lady Boomer, the nurse, always says, yeah, you gotta go have a checkup because it's about time you've had a colonoscopy. And, I just do the things in your butt. We talked about this yesterday. Don't put things in your butt. But they have to do that to check, and I suppose someday I'll have to do that. Thanks for the image, Lamented Guide. If you want to join the Super Chat program, hey, that little PDawgKnight.live right there, you can use that, or you can... it'll show up in the chat once in a while, the link. Anyway, let me finish my good mornings. Good morning, Green Badger Outdoors. Also, Jaeger Pony, what's happening? Becca Farley, thank you for tweeting out the show. I retweeted Becca this morning, even though I put my own out. And good morning, Tyler F., Prospero, Seamus Derby, Sean, how you doing? Let's see here. Diz, hello, how you doing, Maddie? MW and Media, sometimes the Maddie, what the geek thing. Anyway, good morning, Maddie, my news friend, and good morning, Maniac Man. So that's everyone who's in the chat so far. And if you're out there lurking, driving, whatever you're doing, don't get your eyes off the road. Like just listen and enjoy the show. And Diz, that's a new name, by the way. I had to mention this. If you're new to the show, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring that bell so that you get notifications of the show. Or you can just follow me on right over there. See that little thing down there? It says Twitter, mine's Gab. You can do that little @PDawgKnight thing. You can follow me there. I also tweet out the show every day, as does Becca and several others who follow the show. So I really appreciate people who do that. So, one story that I didn't get to yesterday, and I just wanted to touch on it before we get into anything else too deep. And this was, there was a little narrative going around because someone in Congress decided to leak the idea that the Russians were, well, first of all, they said the Russians were trying to get Trump reelected. I've seen you just rarely. Okay, well, that's cool. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're back. Welcome back, Diz. The Russians were trying to help President Trump. But then they said something about the Russians trying to help Bernie Sanders. Anyway, the Russians trying to sow discord. CNN, shockingly, Jake Tapper in particular, blows up a Adam Schiff's recent claim about Russia and President Trump. And I just wanted to touch on this. On Sunday, House Intelligence Chairman, Representative Adam Schiff, went on a tangent when he claimed that Russia is trying to get President Trump reelected. However, there's just one wrinkle about Schiff's claim. CNN has already disproved it. It appears that if you are an enemy of the Democratic Party, if you're an enemy to the Democratic Party, Russia is helping you. And since the DNC doesn't want Bernie Sanders anywhere near the nomination, Schiff leaked that the Russians are also helping Bernie. When President Trump was asked about it over the weekend, President Trump said, "I read where Russia is helping Bernie Sanders. Nobody said it to me at all. Nobody briefed that to me at all," Trump said, suggesting that Schiff and his group leaked it to the papers. They ought to investigate Schiff for leaking that information. On Sunday, Schiff shot back and said, via tweet, right there, "Nice deflection, Mr. President, but your false claims fool no one. You welcomed Russian help in 2016. Tried to coerce Ukraine's help in 2019 and won't protect our elections in 2020. Now you fired your intel chief for briefing Congress about it. You betrayed America again." Wow, that's some serious accusations there. By the way, good morning, Cynical Lindsay, and also good morning, MC.
Hammer time.
The problem with Schiff's claim is that 2 days before Friday, CNN's Jake Tapper blew the whole narrative out of the water in a very long tweet thread. I'm not sure what got into Jake as he accidentally engaged in actual journalism, and in doing so, countered Schiff's weekend's talking points. What Tapper explains is that the now fired D&I official was inaccurate in his assessment and was not honest before Congress. Here's how Tapper's explained it. Let's go through Jake Tapper's thread here. National security, a national security official, I know, and trust pushes back on the way the briefing ODNI story is being told, and others with firsthand knowledge agree with this assessment. What's been articulated in the news is that the intelligence community has concluded that the Russians are trying to help Trump again. But the intelligence doesn't say that, the official says. The problem is Shelby Pearson, the election threats executive in the intelligence community, said they developed a preference for Trump. A more reasonable interpretation of the intelligence is not that they have a preference. It's a step short of that. It's more that they understand the president is someone they can work with. He's a deal maker, but not that they prefer him over Sanders or Buttigieg or anyone else. So it may have been mischaracterized by Shelby at the House Intel briefing last week.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
It's more that they understand the president. Oh, wait, we read that part. And by the way, the official says both Democrats and Republicans were challenging this at the briefing. Then there's the matter of the tense meeting between President Trump and erstwhile acting director of national intelligence, Admiral McGuire. The president was upset that he had to hear about an intelligence conclusion from a member of the House Republicans rather than from the intelligence community. So he was out of joint with McGuire on that process. Now that makes a little more sense, doesn't it? Good morning, Ronan Wolf. Good morning. The Chicago Mike. And I missed somebody in here. Advocatus Diaboli. Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for being here. So, Schiff has been caught flat out lying when he runs around claiming that President fired the DNI official over telling Congress Russia is helping Trump. He was fired because deep state CIA officials didn't brief the president about this. And he had to hear the information from a member of Congress, and he mischaracterized the intelligence. Apparently, President Trump is not playing around a deep stater in bed in Washington, and he told Vox journalist Alex Ward. Alex Ward says, I asked a senior White House official if Trump really removed McGuire over the Russia briefing. The official did not mince words. That's absolutely why anyone from here on out that opposed POTUS will get fired. That bad, I asked? Yep, the official said. He's not fucking around. Ha! Well, good. I can't imagine if any other president got information like that should have been briefed on. Why wouldn't he fire him? Anyway, then there's Abby Phillips here. Senator Bernie Sanders was confused as to why this information even came out. He's known for a month. Oh, because it was right before the Nevada caucuses, I bet. Let's see. Sanders tells reporters he learned about Russian interference in his campaign about a month ago, but asked why it came out now. Sanders points to the fact that the Nevada caucuses are a day away. And then he added sarcastically, Washington Post? Ha! Good friends. There you go. So, that is that. So, that I wanted to get to that yesterday. I didn't. I failed. But now I am making it up to you, my audience, because, hey, I'm here for you, right? All right, so let's see. What else is happening in the world? By the way, share this stream with the people you interact with. It takes just a few clicks, starting with the share arrow down below. That's what it says on my screen here. Also, this show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations and have your super chats read live on the show. Click that link right there in the chat that says PDawgnight.live. All right. We got a dislike. Duck Dog is lurking somewhere. Yep. You see, Duck Dog is here. You just don't always see him. He's kind of like Teen Wolf. Just all of a sudden, poof, there he is. Right next to you. You're like, oh, damn. Hi, Duck Dog. All right. So there was a debate yesterday in South Carolina. As I call them, the 7 Lemons were on the stage, kind of turning. I didn't. Excuse me. I need a sip of my reparations coffee here. Today we're sponsoring Are we sponsored? Or are they sponsoring us? Well, this is from the University of St. Thomas. This is where my son went to school. Just graduated last year. Now he's making money and playing, whatever that computer thing he does. Anyway, the debate last night. I'm sure people probably saw some of it or talked about it or whatever. Now, this is Tyler O'Neill, who's, of course, going to say that Donald Trump won the South Carolina debate. But this is a good... This is a good summary of the debate, so I figured I'd use this one rather than... Oh, by the way, so I told you I got this... I got a content strike. Content strike? I don't know. Copyright strike. Not a content strike. A copyright strike, which is not as serious. It doesn't really affect your channel. From CBS News, right? Because I did a full 90 minutes on Bernie Sanders' 60 Minutes interview from this past Sunday, and basically they've blocked that particular video from being seen worldwide. Okay, but it doesn't cost me a strike or anything like that. But I disputed it anyway because it definitely is a fair use situation where I was talking about, I basically 90 minutes going over a 13-minute interview. Which is clearly, opinion-based commentary. It fits all the criteria for fair use. Now, interesting, people who were trying to live stream the debate last night, let's see, Razor Fist, I think, was running. There was more than one, but I thought of Razor Fist in particular because his stream last night got closed down by... CBS News. CBS is probably the toughest when it comes to giving you content strikes or copyright claims, and they'll take down your video in a minute. I didn't realize that until I talked to somebody else that said, yeah, CBS is one of the worst. But anyway, so the debate on CBS last night, the real winner of Tuesday night's chaotic Democratic debate in South Carolina wasn't on the stage. You know what? This is a type of analysis that I don't necessarily agree with, because in the long run, no one's going to go back and look at this debate. Okay, the debate is, it's 4 Democrats, by Democrats, 2 Democrats, and the only ones paying attention to it really, besides the Democrats. Excuse me, did I say Democrats? I meant the news media. Are probably the Democrats in South Carolina. You know, even people who, for the most part, these debates are ignored by most people, unless you're really just a political junkie like myself, or you spend a lot of time on Twitter, or you spend a lot of time talking about the politics. But really, Donald Trump doesn't win the debate yesterday unless Bernie's. Well, I guess it doesn't matter who comes out of this on top, but I think Bernie Sanders is the one candidate most likely or most easy for Trump. And I know they don't believe that, but I think that's true. I think like I said, he has a very loyal, enthusiastic following, but not much beyond that, just because of some certain things. Anyway, Tyler O'Neill, though. The real winner of Tuesday's chaotic Democratic debate in South Carolina wasn't on stage. Each candidate got a few good lines in, but no one candidate stood out in a way that will shake up the race. Senator Bernie Sanders. Okay, I didn't read this carefully the first time I browsed through it. Senator Bernie Sanders, S-USSR. The socialist has the momentum, and former Vice President Joe Biden is holding out for a win in South Carolina. Biden, a longtime frontrunner, has fallen nearly 10 points behind Sanders in national polls 1 week out from Super Tuesday. Biden is likely to prevail in South Carolina, but it remains to be seen if this will reinvigorate his flailing campaign. This debate seemed unusually vicious and chaotic, making Trump look better by comparison, while former Mayor Pete Buttigieg, D, Church of Social Justice, did get in a few digs that Sanders candidates took aim at other competitors as well, significantly lowering the heat faced by the frontrunner. Senator Elizabeth Warren, D, 1,024th of a plan, had hit. I can't stop laughing. This is just funny. Okay, I'm going to stop putting their affiliations because it's just whatever. Hit hard against former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg, D, piles of cash, who uttered a Freudian slip about buying elections. Oh, yeah, he mistakenly, well, he almost said it. He caught himself. But when he was saying that they were talking about something about his fortune, he said, well, my fortune helped pave the way for the Congress to be taken over by Democrats. He bought the elections, and he's buying one now. Senator Amy Klobuchar, D, someplace cold. Yes, it is cold in Minnesota. I agree. Remained her unusual staid self, but proved largely irrelevant, as did the coal investor turned green activist Tom Steyer. The debate perhaps proved most notable for its gaffes. Oh, shocker, Biden had a gaffe. Biden said nearly half the U.S. population died in the past 10 years due to gun violence. Yes, he added an extra 0, or even more than that even. He said like 150 million. It should have been 150,000. He added a couple zeros. He also insisted getting more time to speak and then burst out in anger twice when the moderators tried to move on. Indeed, the moderators often let candidates speak longer than their allotted time for people not named Joe Biden. Perhaps they didn't want Biden to dig himself into too many holes. Yes, because the moderators are corporate Democrats. Anyway, The debate perhaps proved most. Oh, excuse me. Down there. Now I just had a gaffe. Arguably the most hilarious moment came when we learned that Joe Biden won his election to the U.S. Senate in something like 24 hours. On Monday, the former vice president and former senator announced, "I'm a Democratic candidate for United States Senate." Yeah, that's where he was. He was at an event where he was talking about. I think I showed you this yesterday. He was at an event where he was talking about, he was talking about senators. I think it got stuck in his mind. So at the end, he said, "I'm Joe Biden and I'm running for the United States Senate," when he meant to say the president of the United States. So it's one of those things that happens, but happening to Joe, he just needs not to happen. Good morning to Irish Rose and Cracked, who are in the chat. Thank you for being here. Anyway, on a more serious note, Warren dug into Bloomberg for his previous funding of Republican campaigns. And here's a tweet from Warren. Mike Bloomberg has dumped millions of dollars into trying to elect Republicans, including the incumbent Senate Republican I beat. I don't care how much money he has, the core of the Democratic Party will never trust him, and that makes him the riskiest candidate. She also attacked Bloomberg for having allegedly told one of his pregnant employees to, quote, "kill it," end quote. While any such remark would have been horrific, it does seem slightly hypocritical for a supporter of abortion without limitation, even to the point of birth, to become indignant about an abortion suggestion. Now, the other thing about that particular story that she told, where she was talking about how, well, she was in her 20s and she had a teaching job doing special education, and she was visibly pregnant at the end of the semester, and the principal invited her not to come back. I think there's some documentation out there that says that story may be another one of the Liz Warren spoken word histories that she said around the campfire when she was a child, because the documentation of that says she was invited back and then she declined. And in fact, it was brought up at a city council meeting, and that she was getting her job back, but that she declined. So I'm not really sure that story is exactly true. We'll have to look that one up one of these days. I've seen that around. Oh my gosh, I'm having a hard time today. Now, while Warren focuses on Bloomberg, Buttigieg actually turned his attention to the real frontrunner in the race. He rightly attacks Sanders for his incredible shrinking price tag when it comes to the cost of his socialist programs. Let's do some math. Senior Senator Sanders at one point said it was going to be 40 trillion, then it was 30, then it was 17. It's an incredible shrinking price tag. He at some point has said it is unknowable. Yes, remember that? How much is this actually going to cost? Nobody knows, but we have to do it because this is this and this. I'll tell you exactly what it adds up to. It adds up to 4 more years of Donald Trump, Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House, and the inability to get the Senate into Democratic hands. Mayor Pete said he warned that Democrats newly elected in 2018 are running away from your platform as fast as they possibly can. Thank goodness there's some sanity in the Democratic Party, is what I say. Anyway, according to Politico, Pete Buttigieg tonight called out Bernie Sanders for what he called the Vermont senator's incredible shrinking price tag for his Medicare for All proposal. And the truth is, just the Medicare for All part, not all the other shit that he wants to do, just the Medicare for All part, has been estimated between $30 and $60 trillion over 10 years. Okay, and have you ever heard of a government program? Here in the chat, you can answer this question. This will be my poll for the day, and I don't really have a way to. I can't remember how you put polls in the chat, but here's my poll for the day. If you have ever heard of a government program that has come in under budget, press 1. And if you haven't, press any other number you can choose on the keyboard. Thank you. Good morning, IRRI. Medicare for All will be what wins the election. Yeah, for President Trump. I don't know. I'm not convinced that that'll be good for Bernie Sanders. Anyway, abolishing private health care means that hundreds upon thousands of people lose jobs. They've never considered that. Well, hey, look, if they get rid of private health care, the only reason I work at my job right now is for health care. Not that I like the job. It's a part-time job, and that's where I get it. And I work there because I enjoy it and because I get free health care there. But there's really no reason to work there. I can work other jobs. But I don't mind working where I'm at. Well, actually, I probably will stay there for another few years. But anyway, it's just weird. Anyway. All right. So then the moderator rightly called Sanders out on his track record of expressing sympathy for socialist governments. In Cuba and Nicaragua, the socialists insisted, I have opposed authoritarianism all over the world. Then he went on to attack Bloomberg and insist that Barack Obama praised some of Fidel Castro's program as well. Buttigieg raised the issue later. We're not going to survive or succeed. We are not going to survive or succeed, and we're certainly not going to win by reliving the Cold War. And we're not going to win these critical House and Senate races if people in those races have to explain why the nominee of the Democratic Party is telling people to look at the bright side of the Castro regime, he said. Well, Pete Buttigieg. There you go. Oh, IRR, you think that'll win it for Bernie? I'm not buying it. Bernie has too much other baggage. He just does. The people who like Bernie are going to vote for Bernie. The people who are weighing the differences between Bernie and or Trump as far as how our economy runs, I think they're going to run away from Bernie. That's my personal opinion. I may be wrong. I'll find out if Bernie even gets the nomination. We'll see. All right. Despite these and other attacks, Bernie Sanders held his own. As the Wall Street Journal Kimberly Strassel noted, Bernie got the real pass on authoritarianism. Authoritarianism is part and parcel of all true socialist movements. You can't support socialism and oppose authoritarians. Yeah, that's required. And don't even try to tell me otherwise. They are the same, she explained. What have you ever heard of a corporate healthcare provider not make a profit 10 times over its true cost? Look. We'll get into that debate in a minute. This is spot on. Sanders may insist his would be a smiley face brand of socialism, but when push comes to shove, how will he react? A Heritage Foundation study found that taxing the rich at 100% would fall trillions short of Medicare for all and the Green New Deal. Sanders has criticized the idea of having 18 to 23 different deodorant options, but that is exactly the point. A free market consumer culture allows for a wide range of choices that allow for competition and niche tastes. A one-size-fits-all mentality cuts against the prosperity Americans prize, and socialist governments historically became authoritarian because not everyone went along. Okay, so this is his opinions here. Let's see. I just want to talk about the debate itself. Okay, now he's kind of he's making some editorial commentary on the debate, which we can do that ourselves. So, now let's just quickly go into how the there's one of those ads. Let's go into how the New York Post saw the debate. Let's see. Democratic debate, chaos reigns. A shouting match breaks out in South Carolina. The Democratic presidential debate in South Carolina quickly degenerated into a schoolyard screaming match Tuesday night, all of the candidates furiously talking over each other as the CBS moderators seemed unable to do anything about it. CBS News moderators Gayle King, Gayle I Hate Kobe Bryant King, and Nora O'Donnell struggled to keep the 7 unruly candidates in line, as 6 of them rushed to attack Bernie Sanders, who they now realize is on an unstoppable march to the nomination. You know what? let's just think about that. Hey, when has the Republican Party ever not cut care for veterans? Well, I can tell you right now, President Trump hasn't, if you think about it. Now, look, remember when they changed the rules for veterans so that now veterans don't have to wait to get in a veterans government facility to get health care? Remember that? Or are you familiar with that, I should say? And the people that aren't going to vote for Bernie are tools of delusion. Well, I guess I'm a tool of delusion, IRI, but that's okay. You know what? I do actually welcome your comment because I would love for someone to convince me why I should vote for Bernie Sanders. You know what? If you could perform that, that would be a miracle. Good morning, Peter Allman. But IRI, you know I'm glad you're here. I respect you absolutely. The economy is tanking over virus. Okay, we'll get into that. Actually, we're going to talk about that. So that's my next subject. All right, moving on. At one point, all of the candidates were wildly flapping their hands and yelling over each other before former VP Joe Biden chastised their onstage decorum. I guess the only way to do this is to jump in and speak twice as long as you should, Biden said as South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg went on a long sermon about how Sanders would cost Democrats the House majority, a statistic based on polling conducted by Michael Bloomberg's campaign. Showing more fire than he has in many debates, Biden shot back when Buttigieg and others candidates tried to cut him off after King had specifically called on him to speak. You spoke over your time, so I'm going to talk, the former Veep bellowed at the rest of the crowded field, to huge cheers from the crowd. Biden is in a fight for his life in South Carolina ahead of Saturday's primary with Sanders and billionaire Tom Steyer swallowing his lead among black voters. So, let's see where we at here. All right, so let's get into that coronavirus talk here. IRRI, like I said I was going to do. Americans should prepare for coronavirus crisis in the U.S., the Center for Disease Control says. Now, here's my little take on this issue, just before I even read this. Whenever they say, over the last several weeks, we've been hearing about this coronavirus, and everyone's been saying, don't panic, don't be too concerned, yada, yada, yada. Just, everything's going to be just fine. Whenever they start saying that shit, and I don't care who's in the White House, okay? I don't give a shit who's in the White House. When you hear those words, you know you need to start being concerned. It's when they start telling you to panic is when the opposite should happen. When they start telling you to panic about something, usually they just want something out of you. When they tell you, you don't have to worry about this, it's no big concern, then you know it's time to start worrying. So here we go. And I may already have it as much as I'm coughing. Top U.S. public health official said Tuesday that Americans should prepare for the spread of the coronavirus in communities across the country. It's not so much a question of if this will happen anymore, but rather more of a question of exactly when this will happen and how many people in this country will have severe illness. Dr. Nancy Messonnier, the head of the National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, said during a media briefing Tuesday. Measures to contain the virus in the U.S. so far have involved restricting travel to and from China, the center of the outbreak, from isolating identified cases. But Messonnier, I suppose that's how you say it, said that evidence that the virus is spreading to countries outside the region, such as Iran and Italy, has raised the CDC's level of concern and expectations that we'll see it spread in the U.S. As of Tuesday, more than 300 cases had been reported in Italy. Iran had nearly 100 cases. When you start to see sustained transmission in other countries throughout the world, it's inevitable that it will come to the United States. Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, told NBC News, in the U.S., 57 people have been diagnosed with COVID-19, the illness caused by the new coronavirus. The majority are among repatriated residents who were passengers of the Diamond Princess cruise ship docked in Japan. The CDC said Americans should prepare for the possibility of disruptions to their daily lives if the virus were to start spreading in the U.S. That could include closing schools, working from home, and delaying elective medical procedures. We should all be dusting off our pandemic preparedness plans and rehearse them very quickly, said Dr. William Schaffner, an infectious disease specialist at Vanderbilt University. The core concept is social distancing. Business leaders, Schaffner said, should start considering which employees could work from home. Perhaps the time will come, and other experts said, to observe religious practices and ceremonies at home rather than attend larger gatherings at places of worship. Families should start asking themselves how they would handle a week or two at home without traveling, even short distances for food, medicine, or entertainment. Coronaviruses tend to spread from person to person through coughs and sneezes. Staying at least 6 feet from other people is thought to minimize the risk. In a news conference later Tuesday, Health and Human Services Director Alex Azar said the immediate risk to the general public remains low, but as we have warned, that has the potential to change quickly. The fact that we've been able to keep cases to this low level is an accomplishment, especially given that we are unfortunately beginning to see community spread in a growing number of other countries. Community, okay, whatever. Travel restrictions are enacted. Restrictions enacted in early February have played a role in keeping the cases down in the U.S., he said, adding that there are no plans to ease the restrictions at this time. The community spread in countries outside China, however, is deeply concerning. Now, let's talk a little bit about this, because I'm going to go back, I'm going to go back to something you said way back here. Let's see. Let me find it here. All right, so let's go back here. Tell me exactly. Trump can't put two intelligence words together. Who's kidding who? Bernie will make mincemeat. You know what? IRI. Now, who famously was never Trump and never Hillary back at the time of the 2016 election, thought for sure that Hillary Clinton would beat Trump. In fact, the day after the election, when I did not watch election returns, I was shocked to find out that we now had President-elect Trump. So whether or not Trump can put two intelligence words together makes no bearing on how someone does a debate, obviously, or whether or not someone will be elected, obviously. If you believe that Hillary Clinton was a much better debater or much more on top of facts or whatever, this has nothing to do with the coronavirus, but I'm going to move on from that, but that was an interesting comment. Okay. Now, let's go back to here, though. The economy is tanking over a virus. The moron doesn't even have people in charge of that department. What department might that be? Would that be the Center for Disease Control? And let me ask you, does it really matter who the president is for this particular pandemic or possible pandemic? Here's the thing. So when this first started happening, do you remember what happened when they started talking about having travel restrictions? Do you remember some of that debate? Maybe you don't. I certainly remember a certain word that came up quite often when we began talking about travel restrictions from China. Anyone know what that word might be? Anybody? I heard that it was racist to have travel restrictions. Literally, there were people who were complaining that it was racist to talk about the coronavirus and it coming from China and based on diets and whatever it was happening with it. Okay? Now, let's see. Let me see where you said something else here. And I'm only referring to you because you asked, and that's fine. I'm glad you're here. It's a fascinating subject. That's why I'm voting Progressive, Green, Socialist, Democrat, or Bernie. Okay, I'm glad. And please vote for who you'd like. Oh gosh, there's always checks and balances. This isn't runaway socialist. Besides, he'll put the checks and balances that no government official has done. You know what? Bernie can't do anything without the rest of Congress. Bernie will be a lame duck from day one, because he has no coattails. Okay. Hang on a second. I have a dog caught in something. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pause for a second. I'll be right back. Clifford. Alrighty then. Now we are back. Thank you. Sorry about that. Let's see. Let's just go down this list here. Don't worry. I'm not worried. Don't worry about my feelings. You gang up on me. You'll need to have your education cap on. Okay, that's cool. Anyway, back about the coronavirus. Okay. Clifford, don't be a bad boy. No, what happened is we're doing a major house shift, as in cleaning, and my wife has bags of stuff all around, and apparently he was sniffing in a bag, and his collar got caught on this plastic bag, so now he's carrying around a bag under his collar. I had to make sure I got rid of that. All right. Everything was already on the wall concerning the virus back in January 25th. I'm really curious where you think. Okay, I'm curious. Actually, all right. This is actually a good question. So what should have been done differently about the coronavirus? That's still not yet quite. That hasn't been done. I'm not sure where you're going with this. If you think the Center for Disease Control works differently based on who's in the Oval Office, I don't think so. Remember, they are basically mostly career bureaucrats who work on this, which is fine with me in that case. Anyway, let's keep it going here. And speaking of your first comment, though, is Clifford a red bone? No. Yes, the Dow plunges 879 points as coronavirus warnings pummel markets. Now let's remember, this would be a Breitbart article. Stocks dropped 4 days in a row on Tuesday as the government warned Americans that the coronavirus is likely to upend daily life. It's not so much of a question of if this will happen in this country anymore, but of when this will happen. This is from Dr. Nancy Messonnier again. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell by more than 879 points, around 3.15%. Adding to the steep 1,000-point decline Monday. The S&P 500 dropped 3%, and the NASDAQ composite fell 2.7%. The declines put both the Dow and the S&P 500 more than 7% below record highs reached in February. The NASDAQ is more than 8% below the all-time high hit in February. Now, let's remember, it's funny because saying that the market's tanked, remember where the markets are, okay? Tanking is an interesting way to put it, but anyway, let's see. Messonnier also says we are asking the American public to work with us to prepare in expectation expectation that this could be bad. The rout in stocks was front run by a rally in bonds, pushing yields down even further as investors sought safe haven investments. Both the 10-year and 30-year Treasury yield hit an all-time low. All 11 sections of the S&P were down Tuesday trading. Airline stocks fell by... Well, airline stocks are going to fall because people are going to stop traveling for a while. This is nothing... The fact that the market changed because of a possible pandemic, or epidemic or whatever, of a disease, not shocking, okay? That has nothing to do with the President of the United States. I just get it. I don't get it. Shares of cruise lines continue to fall sharply. Yeah, people aren't going to be going on cruises. Cruise lines are going to have a hard time with this until somehow this is mitigated. Every component of the Dow fell. Visa shares fell 5.2%. JP Morgan Chase dropped about 4.5%. American Express. Yeah, it's going to hit the market because people are going to stop moving around for a while. And then when it ends, all this mess ends, it'll go back up. But you know what? If you really try to run on that, I'd really love to see what the any candidate or any president potentially would be doing about this. Just curious. If I get coronavirus, the first thing I'm going to do is shake my representative's hands. Every last corporate money taking till you do nothing representative. Okay, that is funny. I like that IRI. Oh, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, but now, Trump takes flack. Now, here's the funny thing, though. Here's the thing. So, Trump, who takes shit for requesting $2.5 billion to deal with coronavirus. Too little, too late. Now, of course, see, this is playing politics with coronavirus cracks me up, but that's what they have to do. That's what they got to do. Too little, too late. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer tweeted Monday night after the Trump White House asked Congress for $2.5 billion to fight the coronavirus. Now, remember, the Center for Disease Control is already funded and makes requests. Anyway, President Trump, responding to Schumer on Tuesday from India, told reporters, "I think we're doing a great job." Well, that's his job to say he's doing a great job. Here's the thing. I'm not... Look, the way this is spreading and moving around the world, somebody's going to have to get their ass in gear and figure something out. But look, Trump said he and Indian Prime Minister Modi actually discussed the coronavirus, and at this moment, India doesn't have much of a problem, they feel. And I think the whole situation will start working out. A lot of talent, a lot of brain power is being put behind it. $2.5 billion we're putting in. I see Chuck Schumer criticize it. He thought it should be more. If I gave more money, he'd say it should be less. Automatic, with these characters. Yeah, no matter what Trump says, someone's going to criticize him on this. And if it were President Obama, it doesn't matter what President Obama would have said. Someone would have criticized him on this. And if it was Bush, somebody would have criticized him. If it was Clinton, somebody's going to criticize him on it. Because that's the hit you're going to take as president when something like this that is completely out of your control happens. But they're going to do what they can. And hopefully they'll figure something out soon. Anyway, if I gave more, he'd say it should be less, but if that's what they do. In the meantime, that's all they can do. They're not getting anything done. We have so many things we could get done. We could easily do prescription drugs. Okay, so they're all playing politics with this, and I think they can all fuck off. Anyway, Schumer on Monday tweeted his objection to Trump's request for supplemental funding to deal with the coronavirus, including the development of a vaccine. Really? Okay, I'm really curious. He says too little, too late that President Trump is trying to steal funds dedicated to fight Ebola is indicative of his towering incompetence and further proof that he and his administration aren't taking the coronavirus crisis as seriously as they need to be. Look, Schumer. Oh my God. Well, then why is he asking for $2.5 billion? What do you mean? Oh my God. We've seen no sign that President Trump has any plan or urgency to deal with the spread of the coronavirus. We need real leadership. We need it fast. Chuck! I'm just curious. I am just really fucking curious. Chuck? What bill have you introduced in the Senate regarding the coronavirus? Chuck? Hello? Chuck? It's amazing. Trump later tweeted, crying, Chuck Schumer is complaining for publicity purposes only that I should be asking for more money than $2.5 billion to prepare for coronavirus. If I asked for more, he would be saying it's too much. He didn't like my early travel closings. I was right. He's incompetent. President Trump, speaking Tuesday, said the coronavirus is very well under control in the United States at this moment. But, whatever. I'm sorry. These guys are just fucking playing politics with it. I'm more concerned with what the Center for Disease Control is and actual scientists are doing with it. And if they stop fucking around and just let's go for their $2.5 billion request that he made, I'm sure somebody is working on it. I hate politicians. Holy shit. Senator Angus King, Independent Maine, gave Trump a little credit on Tuesday, telling CNN's Newsday. Now, this is Angus King, independent from Maine. Number one, I think the president is to be given some appreciation for the emergency request for $2.5 billion that's come out in the last couple of days. That was the right thing to do, and I'm sure Congress is going to approve that very quickly. On the other hand, I think what Chuck was probably referring to was 2 years ago, a little less than 2 years ago, John Bolton abolished the position of global health coordination in the National Security Council and disbanded the office. And that office has been empty until this day because it was a redundant, oh my God, it was a redundant office, okay? It was a redundant office. But let's see. And why is that important? Because we've already seen the conflict between the CDC, the State Department, the Department of Homeland Security, and there's really a necessity for someone at the top, for someone in the White House that can knock heads in the bureaucracy and make decisions and have them stick throughout the federal government. No, there isn't. That's just more bureaucracy, more voices to have to listen to. No, how about having oh my God. Pardon me for my little meltdown there. The other piece, which I find is astounding, is last fall, the State Department abolished a program called PDawg, which was designed, it was sent under USAID, it was designed to examine and indeed predict the work on global potential pandemics. That office was abolished last fall and hasn't yet been replaced, although they're talking about it. So I think there is, just a record of a lack of preparation. I put it in a bill just the last few days to create this position in the National Security Council as a permanent position because these kinds of things are going to happen in a globalized economy. And we need to be prepared, not scrambling to play catch up. Again, it was a redundant office. There is a part of the Center for Disease Control that is supposed to be already dealing with this. Now you would have two bureaucracies having to constantly communicate each other instead of having one. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, moving on. So, this is kind of funny because I've been watching, me, I watch Twitter, what's happening on Twitter quite a bit. And I find it funny. In fact, I find it a bit hilarious when some of the, let's just say the former conservatives or the conservatives who are completely never Trump, suddenly begin to see what's happening with that other party that they are kind of vowing to support. And it was funny because I'm looking at all these. I'll show you the tweets in a minute because they all seem to be panicking. They all seem to be panicking that Bernie Sanders is in the lead. Now, I know you are a Bernie Sanders fan, and I appreciate that. I am not a Bernie Sanders fan. In fact, Bernie Sanders being the nominee would absolutely push me to go and vote for that other guy with the funny hair and orange skin, who I'm leaning towards anyway. But watching some of these so-called conservatives and what do they call them? Former Republicans who are never Trump panic over Bernie Sanders is fucking hilarious. It is fucking hilarious. And so here's an article from this is from Legal Insurrection. Yeah, Legal Insurrection. Never Trumpers hit panic button over Bernie. Start calling for female candidates to drop out. Is it time for Elizabeth Warren to drop out? Wondered Joe Scarborough on MSNBC's Morning Joe program Monday. In the midst of Senator Bernie Sanders' star rising in primary polls, as well as his New Hampshire, Nevada victories, middle-of-the-road Democrats like Clinton East of James Carville and anti-Bernie Democrats like MSNBC's Chris Matthews have been sounding alarm bells about how Sanders could fare against Trump in the fall. Joining them in their efforts at trying to stop Bernie momentum have been never Trumpers like fellow MSNBC host Joe Scarborough, who on Monday floated the possibility of Senator Elizabeth Warren and Amy Klobuchar dropping out of the race altogether. The strategy behind this is so other candidates he and other never Trumpers feel have a better chance of defeating Trump can pick up Warren's and Klobuchar's voter support and possibly overtake Bernie in the delegate count. The idea was discussed during a Monday Morning Joe segment with Democratic strategist and former Hillary Clinton 2016 senior advisor Adrian Elrod, who pointed out that candidates had to reach the 15% threshold in order to qualify for delegates in primary contests. She stated that the longer there were 4 or 5 other candidates in the race fighting for the moderate vote, that it made it harder for candidates like Joe Biden and Mike Bloomberg to reach that 15% threshold. At that point, Joe Scarborough turned to his wife, Mika Brzezinski, to talk about Klobuchar's and Warren's track record to date and wondered if it was time for both of them to bow out.
Wow.
People are talking about, this is Scarborough speaking. People are talking about how, as well as she's done, as good as a campaign as she's run, it's time for her to get out of the race, Scarborough said of Klobuchar before pivoting to Warren. A lot of people are starting to talk about Elizabeth Warren, who finished weak again. She finished in 4th in her neighboring home state where she was supposed to win in New Hampshire last week. This week, another disappointing finish. She's maybe in single digits. She's up to 10% now, but she's in single digits in most of these counts, he said. Is it time for Elizabeth Warren if she keeps finishing 4th, 5th place? Is it time for her to get out of the race and help consolidate efforts against Bernie Sanders? There's a lot of buzz on Twitter suggesting that's the case, Scarborough concluded. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. The issue was brought up to Klobuchar over the weekend, and she promptly shut it down. Asked by a reporter on Sunday about her rationale for staying in the race, Klobuchar said, "Why would I get out? That's not even a close call for me." The Hill also notes that Warren believes she is building a momentum after a solid debate performance last week, so she's not going anywhere. I think they're going to both be out, if not after South Carolina, definitely after Super Tuesday, just saying. For the record, Scarborough's now being accused of sexism for suggesting the women should drop out instead of Pete Buttigieg, Michael Bloomberg, or Tom Steyer. Well, look, Michael Bloomberg can stay in as long as he wants because he's just spending his own money like a freaking waterfall. And Tom Steyer, I don't even know why he's there. I honestly don't, but he's in 3rd place in South Carolina, apparently. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that's what it says in the polls. Anyway, For those of the cheap seats watching this all play out, it's been interesting to watch prominent commentators like Scarborough, who seem to have no core ideology anymore, hit the panic button over Sanders. It's as though they believe movers and shakers in the Democratic Party actually welcome what amounts to interference in their nomination process from people who aren't even Democrats. And that's the most hilarious thing. Listening to these assholes who... they're all Republicans still, sort of. But all these, the Never Trumpers going off on who should be the Democratic nominee is hilarious to me. Like, any of the Democrats give a flying fig what these assholes say. For example, here's Brill Crystal. President Obama. South Carolina was a key primary win in 2008. Joe Biden was your loyal VP. A Sanders nomination would relegate your presidency into an insignificant prelude to 2 terms of Trump, or one of Trump and one of Sanders. Passivity is a choice. Act. Go to South Carolina and fight for Joe. Get the F out of here. You know what? Let the Democrats pick who they want, Bill Crystal, because Bill Crystal, they don't give a fuck what you got to say. Are you kidding me? Crystal, like all the other Never Trumpers, has an alternative Democratic candidate to Biden in case the former Veep's campaign flames out this weekend. Yes, it is Michael Bloomberg. Oh, the D-bag former Republican, Bill Crystal again. Bloomberg has spent over $400 million on ads, making the case for himself, and it's not been ineffective. It's not been ineffective. Oh my God. You got to be kidding me. You got to be killing me. He's basically in second place nationally. There's one person ahead of him. Why won't he spend at least $100 million next week in Super Tuesday states, making the case against Sanders? Oh, you don't think he's going to do that? Oh my God. And then it was Washington Post conservative Jennifer Rubin, also a Never Trumper, has been writing pieces giving advice to other Democratic candidates on how to take down Sanders because her efforts taking down Trump in 2016 worked so well. If Warren, for example, wants to win the nomination and not simply avoid offending Bernie bros, she must turn the debate to Sanders' record. He voted for the 1994 crime bill and favored the expansion of prisons, part of mass incarceration of blacks. Oh my God. So here's some funny ones that I picked out, because I picked out some of my own. So here's Jennifer Rubin. She's complaining that Sanders not going to AIPAC. Sanders fight AIPAC, a bigger affront than Castro. Good God, Dems, wake up. Anna Navarro. Oh my God. I definitely have coronavirus. Anna Navarro complaining about Sanders' love for Castro and Noriega. Anna Navarro, I was in second grade when Sandinistas came to power in Nicaragua. They adopted Cuban education model. The book's curriculum taught ideological indoctrination. Children had to recite communist, revolutionary, anti-American slogans. That's how communists teach people to read and write. Well, that's kind of like American colleges today, isn't it? Anyway, Matt Lewis. When Trump won, it made me realize that a lot of the stuff they said about the right, stuff I used to dismiss as overblown, was true. If Bernie wins the nomination, it will confirm that a lot of the ways we always thought about the left was also true. They are who we think they are. Yes. And good old David French. Bernie cannot bring... this is kind of funny. Now, he's saying that Bernie would be harmless. Bernie cannot bring socialism. He cannot rule by decree. None of his big plans will happen. But that doesn't mean he's harmless. His presidency would be bad for America. Our parties are failing to produce fit candidates. Do not endorse their failures with your vote. Oh, good God. All these fucking whiners. Anyway, and Jennifer Rubin's just been here's more. These are funny. Biden should remind voters that if Sanders is the nominee, both sides will be hell-bent on destroying Obama's legacy. And what exactly is Obama's legacy? What is Obama? You know what? Help me out here, people. Please help me out. What's Obama's legacy? Granted, now I don't have necessarily a problem with President Obama. I just thought he was kind of a milquetoast president, even though everyone thought he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. But really, it was a slow recovery, a slow, steady recovery, though. I don't mind steady recovery as long as it's a recovery. But really, what else? In theory, no scandals, right? No scandals, but there are all kinds of scandals, but the media won't call them scandals because it's a Democrat, okay? But his true legacy? What is his legacy? He's the first black president. And you know what? As a black man, fantastic. Fantastic. We finally had a melanin gifted president. Yippee. But what did he do? Well, Trump is his legacy. Yeah, kind of. We went from milquetoast recovery to stronger recovery. We went from okay, whatever economic numbers to really good economic numbers. Now, again, coronavirus is a variable that nobody, if you can blame Trump for coronavirus and the economy, you're an idiot. Okay, nothing personal, IRRI, but no matter who the president is, coronavirus hits the world, it'll affect the economy of the world. And because we are so hung up on not restricting travel from other countries because it's xenophobic or racist or whatever what the hell you want to call it, we're going to have that problem no matter who the president is. Okay? Because we aren't willing to do the things that some countries are willing to do to restrict the travel of people who have certain things. So, you know what? That's that. What is Obama's legacy, though? What is it? I have no idea. Maybe someone can get, and I'm sure it's there, but I don't know how I would describe Obama's legacy. Okay. What did he accomplish that was really great? Okay. Anyway, Brick Wilson, the guy from the Trailer Park Boys. Oh, unless you watch the Trailer Park Boys or you're Canadian, you may not be able to appreciate that. But Rick Wilson, I might know a thing or two about Florida, maybe. But by all means, Bernie Bros, tell me more of your vast experience here and how much Florida loves Castro and but literacy programs is going to sell, not only in Dade, Broward, but, well, everywhere. Tom Nichols, remember him? Radio Free Tom, who has blocked me for some reason. I have no idea. The Democratic Party should do everything it can to stop Bernie, not because he's a socialist, that's bad enough, but because he will lose to Trump. They are panicking. And here we go. Here's a bird's eye view of what it looks like on Never Trumper Island. I can't. Oh, it won't open. There we go. There's the view of Never Trumper Island. Oh my God, that is funny. By the way, yesterday in the super chats yesterday. By the way, you can still do super chats through the Streamlabs link in the description down below. Or if you scroll through the chat, the show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations and have your super chats read live on the show. Click there at the PDawg night.live link. Oh, shoot. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, yesterday in the super chats, someone put a link to 4patriots.com, the number 4patriots.com. And I think that I went and looked, and that's what I figured out what it is. It's one of those, they do survival food kits and generators and sun-powered chargers and they just buy stuff for emergency situations. So, for example, if we do have a pandemic and you need to have something to put to take care of, have some food, stored away that can last a long time, or you need some battery. Let's see, Patriot Power sell 4-packs. So these are solar powered batteries for recharging your cell phones. Not that your power is going to go out necessarily, but you never know. Let's say there's a natural disaster in your area. Okay. Now they don't pay me any money. I just happened to click on the site to find out what the hell it was. I'm glad it's not a porn site. That was the number one thing that I wanted to make sure before I actually clicked it. And so it's not a porn site. It's that kind of stuff. So if you're interested now, oh my gosh, I'm way behind here. By the way, if you've come in since I've been rambling away here, I don't know who's here recently or not. I see Straight Sith Males here. Good morning, Seamus Derby. I think I said hi to you already. So there's a few of there that may not have been here before. Also, a lot of people out in the chat. All right, let's see. Then the last one, I had two. Let's see. Now, what's interesting, now I don't know if IRRI is here, but this is one of those articles. It's time to do Twitter trends. All right, we'll do that in a second because I have two articles I want to do still. This one I just found interesting because the RNC is crushing Democrats in fundraising. According to the latest FEC report, the Republican National Committee has nearly 8 times as much cash on hand as the Democratic National Committee. The report shows the National GOP has $76 million in cash, while the DNC only has $9.9 million. Record-breaking support for this president and his policies continues to grow as we head full force into this presidential election year. RNC Chairwoman Ronna McDaniels said in a statement to Fox News across the country. Okay, this is. I don't necessarily want to hear from the. I want to hear the specifics and not necessarily the RNC chairman's version, but here it is. The latest FEC filings show that President Trump's re-election campaign and joint fundraising committees have $124 million cash on hand, while his campaign alone has $92.6 million cash on hand. As for the Democratic primary field, Bernie Sanders has $16.8 million, Vice Joe Biden $7.1 Buttigieg $6.6 million, Klobuchar $2.86 million, Warren $2.3 million, and Tulsi Gabbard has $2 million. That's fascinating because Tulsi Gabbard. No, I didn't miss the chat. I didn't miss the chat. I know that there was quite a thing going on with IRRI. I kind of wish that IRRI wouldn't have left, but you're okay. I scrolled back. Hello, TC Ball too, and Kessler. I see that you guys are here. If you're right, don't give a fuck about what you have to say. Gotta go. Good luck in your delirious education. If you don't have open eyes, you'll never see. I'm sorry that IR left on that note, but hey, that statement could be said in the mirror too. You got to see. I don't spend all my time on Twitter. Actually, I spend a lot of time on Twitter, but I also am out in the world in a state that is pretty consistently and faithfully blue. I live in a state that's been blue forever. And it amazes me the very rare times I'm talking with people about political things. It surprised me. It surprised me when Trump had a rally here, how many people made it to that rally in the Twin Cities. It was astounding. And now this is reliably blue Minnesota, being a swing state, is almost unheard of. Okay. So when I see that, and the fact that Trump doesn't have a primary season that he has to deal with, also seeing that Trump spent half as much as Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election, seeing that the economy is very good. And despite this coronavirus thing, which, you know what, if Democrats start cheering on the coronavirus for this, do you think that makes them look good or does that make them look bad? Does Chuck Schumer arguing about what Trump's doing about coronavirus? See, Chuck's a smarmy prick. Okay, he's a New York politician, and so he is going to capitalize. He's been in politics a long time, and he knows how to capitalize on any bad news. But I don't know that that'll work for him in this case. But anyway, all right, let's get into trends, but let's check the hashtag first. Real quick, let's go here. Let's go to PDK News because there are a couple articles here that I want to do. Before I do that, though, let me do a couple thank yous, which I hadn't done yet. Thank you, Chi-Town J, Arthur for President, Truck and Bear, Necrosaw Collins. Let's see, G Dubs, and let's see here, MC.
Hammer time.
Maddie the News Chick, and all the people who retweeted the show. Becca Farley also, and I think I already said Necrosaw Collins. Thank you guys for doing that. That is so important to me. In fact, I haven't even checked my subscription number lately, or my subs number. Where are my subs at? Let's see here. Not open image. I want to open here. I don't even know how. I was close to 600 just a couple days ago. Hello, Lamented Guide. Welcome back. Let me just take a quick check here because I don't even know. I was close to 600. Am I at 600 yet? Do I need to do a 600 sub special? No, I'm at 589. So, hey, let's work on that. Anyway, all right, let's get into Twitter. The hashtag today, check there. Oh, yeah, we did the article on you're likely to get the coronavirus. Again, I'm going to put that, it's a long article in the Atlantic. I am going to put it back in the chat again just because it's such a long article that I don't want to go through it completely, but I do want to make sure that you know it's there. You can read that article in the Atlantic. Oh, good morning, Skeptalk. How you doing? So yeah, check that article out. It's a pretty, and it says most cases are not life-threatening, which is also what makes the virus a historic challenge to contain. Also, now this is what Teresa Chiera. I'm not little Lokian. This was just cute. This Money Malamute hides in plain sight at bath time. I'm not sure how, where is it? After a day of running around at the beach and jumping into the water, a muddy Malamute named Phil attempted to hide in plain sight when his humans insisted upon a bath. The incredibly strong and stubborn dog became an immovable object as they tried to get him into the tub. Once that task was accomplished, however, Phil shut his eyes and whined while just standing in the water. When they broke out the shampoo, Phil stuck his nose into his human's knee and tried to tolerate it the best he could. So apparently, this is Phil getting a bath, and Phil's just hiding here. Oh my gosh, it's a 10-minute video? Okay, we're not going to watch a 10-minute video on Phil hiding in bathtub. Here he is. Phil pretends...
For 4 weeks, we're going to have to bath him. I don't personally bath Phil because outside is okay. We've got an outdoor bath, but it's too cold. It's winter here. So that would it's a 10-minute video. Anyway, it's a cute video of Phil, the Malamute, not wanting a bath, hiding in the corner, pretending that nobody can see him. And that's kind of what my dogs do too. So, all right, we're good with that. All right, let's move on. Also, we got, let's see. No, that's not for that. This was just a cute picture. This is what happens. I thought this is funny. This is, maybe I'll get some food at that campfire. What's the worst thing that can happen? 10,000 years later, yes, the dogs evolved into wearing whatever the hell that is. That's kind of funny. Thank you, Teresa Chier, for that one. This one, doctor suspended for removing
Doctor suspended for removing transgender man's vagina without consent. I heard Monkey talking about this one this morning. 2 doctors had their licenses suspended after removing a transgender man's vagina in London without his consent, according to a report. Dr. Marco Capis and Dr. Gilo Garaffa were found guilty in connection to the irreversible procedure on the transgender man, who didn't discover until a week later, the October 2016 surgery, that his vagina was removed. According to the Metro UK, the patient, who wasn't identified, said that he went in for 2 other procedures in his gender assignment process, a hysterectomy and a metoidioplasty, an operation that gives him a penis. But he claims he never consented to the third procedure, a vaginectomy, also known as a clitoroptomy. But he claims, that he received at High Page Private Hospital. Capis is accused of altering a form to say that the patient gave his consent, while Garaffa performed the procedure without checking that the man wanted the operation. Okay, so they're in trouble for removing a man's vagina without consent. I don't know what to say about that. All right, and then here, this is from Piccolo. Thank you, Piccolo. A woman can fall pregnant in swimming pools even without penetration. What? Okay, this is from the UK Daily Mail. Okay, for whatever reason, this one's not loading. Women can fall pregnant in swimming pools, even without penetration, if men with strong sperm ejaculate into the water. An Indonesian child protection boss has claimed. Siti Hikmawati, the Commissioner for Health, Narcotics, and Addictive Substances at the Indonesian Child Protection Commission, made the extraordinary claims in an interview in the Tribune Jakarta last week. Okay. Oh, no, that's it. That's all it says. So if you're in a pool that doesn't have enough chlorine and someone does his business in the pool, be careful, ladies. Let's get into trends, because that's crazy. Okay, in the trends tab on the header, I am not okay with this. Apparently, it's a show on Netflix that is now streaming. So, no great big news on that. Let's go into the Twitter trends for today. Ash Wednesday is trending. You'll be seeing people walking around with smudges on their forehead, particularly if they are Catholic. It is Ash Wednesday. So you'll see the ash cross on many people's heads today. I don't necessarily need... Well, let's see. Let's just read one. The Washington Examiner says, Lent is the time to renounce, to disconnect from our cell phones, and connect to the gospel. Pope Francis, give up social media and trash talk for Lent. Oh, I wonder if the president is listening. I was going to give up Twitter for Lent, but then I remembered I do a show that does daily Twitter trends, so I can't give up Twitter for Lent. I'll have to think of something else. Maybe alcohol. Oh, wait. Too late. Yes, I have cough syrup in my coffee today. All right. So anyway, it's Lent, the foreshadowing of Easter. Wednesday Wisdom is trending number 2. Let's do a little bit of wisdom for today. Oh, Millennial Conservative says, the coronavirus is absolutely being weaponized to bring down our president, Donald Trump. The survival rate of people infected with the virus is 98%. No, it's 99.02%. But anyway, far greater than that of the flu, and yet the fake news is losing their shit. Okay, that's he seems to be it's not 2%, it's 0.02% right now. But hey, not a good thing still. You don't want it. there's still a lot of people dying. Here's a good one. Wednesday wisdom: jealousy is a good indication that you are doing things the right way. People never get jealous of losers. The wisdom of Morgan Freeman. And then our requisite Winnie the Pooh wisdom of the day. Christopher Robin lived at the very top of the forest. It rained and it rained and it rained, but the water couldn't come up to his house. Every morning he went out with his umbrella and put a stick in the place where the water came up to. Okay, that's Wednesday wisdom from there. There you go. All right, let's see. Moving on. We'll skip Wednesday thoughts, aka Wednesday thoughts. But hey, Johnny Cash is trending now. Why is Johnny Cash trending? Let's find out. The top tweet of this. It's because being libertarian. Apparently, Johnny Cash was. Apparently, it's Johnny Cash's birthday. Happy birthday, the one and only man in black. Let's see. I love the freedoms we got in this country. I appreciate your freedom to burn your flag if you want to, but I really appreciate my right to bear arms so I can shoot you if you try to burn mine. Happy birthday, Johnny Cash, with giving out the finger there. Oh my goodness. Happy birthday to the one and only man in black. Happy birthday to the late, great Johnny Cash. Trust gets you killed, love gets you hurt, and being real gets you hated. That's another Johnny Cash quote. Very, very popular, almost mythical figure in music. And someone here. Now, Andre Agoni wants to remind you that while Johnny Cash is trending, he wants to remind you all that his first wife was a black woman. I did not know that. So Johnny Cash was swirling back in the day. Good for Johnny Cash. And remembering Johnny Cash, who was born this day in 1932. Wow, he was only 3 years older than 3 years younger than my mom. Holy moly. Anyway, so he would have been well into his 90s. Holy crap. Anyway, is that right? No. I don't know. Anyway, I can't add up right now. My math ain't working. Russian TV is trending, number 5. Okay, Bernie Sanders' wife went on Russian TV to explain why open primaries like the South Carolina Democratic primary on Saturday are more democratic because they allow Republicans to vote for who the Democratic nominee should be. Sorry, Jane, this is just wrong. Okay, first of all, so RT is Russia Today, right? And it is sponsored by the Russians. But RT America, let me just explain something to you. If you ever watch RT America, they are full. It's full of progressives. In fact, look whose show she's on. Remember this guy? What's his name? Ed.
Believe the polls that Bernie Sanders would fare better against Donald Trump than Hillary Clinton?
This is what's his last name?
No
Someone
doubt.
tell me
And all you
Ed's
have to
last
do is
name here.
look
He used to be on
at
MSNBC.
Every primary and caucus that was an open primary where independents could vote or Republicans could go over and vote. He won. He won by landslide victories often. The ones that he's losing are the ones that are closed primaries.
Jane, while we're on this particular subject, that's because the people who want Bernie Sanders as your nominee went and voted for Bernie Sanders. There's a reason people on the right want Bernie Sanders as your nominee, Jane. I'm just saying, Jane. Ed Schultz, thank you. Ed Schultz, super progressive, used to be on
You have to be
MSNBC.
a registered Democrat. That is not only not democratic, it's short-sighted for the Democratic Party.
Will Bernie Sanders...
that's what keeps the establishment.
Okay, and finally, will Bernie Sanders win Indiana?
I think he will. And I think he was out there today and had a great rally. And
anyway, it's so funny though. These people are just so RT America. It's mainly. No, I know that. Are you telling me Johnny Cash is dead? I know Johnny Cash is dead. He's been dead a while. He's been dead a while. By the way, hi Joseph Legg. There's another new name. I like seeing new names. Subscribe if you're not already. It's so funny. Oh, are you saying him being on, or she being on RT 2 years ago? or what's from 2016? I'm not sure. But anyway, it's hilarious to me that these people bitch about people being on RT America. Yes, it's Russia Today, but it's mostly progressive Americans on the Russian version, the American version of RT. It's just another news outlet. But boy, we have this. Remember that? Well, these people sure like to talk about Russia, though, don't they? Russia, Russia, Russia. I don't care who goes on RT. Holy shit. Oliver Willis, the clip of Jane Sanders on Russian TV is an old clip from the 2016 cycle. The host she's talking to, Ed Schultz, died in 2018. Oh, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, no, I didn't think she went on recently. Thanks for, I see what you're clarifying here. Right. I'm just saying, he was a big progressive mouthpiece, right? Tom Rich, how you doing? Another new name. I'm glad you're here. In fact, we'll get a bell if you're here first one of these days. But make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the subscribe button and the bell to make sure you get notifications. What the hell happened there? There we go. That's what I meant to do. All right. And here's someone else. Bernie Sanders' wife went on Russia TV 4 years ago. I can understand why this isn't alarming. I was just on yesterday. They took me into a back room, brainwashed me with vodka. Now I'm a Russian agent. Thank you, Kim Iverson. That's hilarious. Can someone please explain to me why Bernie Sanders' wife was doing on Russia TV? It's not. It's RT. It's a news network. Oh my God, these people. Yeah, but you know what? Russian. They're Russian. You got to be really careful with these sneaky Russians because they might try to interfere in the election. They just might. Holy shit. Good God. Good God. So they dug up a clip of Ed Schultz doing this. Yeah. And it's trending on Twitter. God, these people. Oh my God. Anyway, number 6, Wednesday morning. We're going to skip that. Number 7, Maria Sharapova, the tennis star, is retiring at the ripe old age of 32. She announces her retirement. The 5-time Grand Slam winner wrote an essay for Vogue and Vanity Fair where she announced she's saying goodbye to her sport. She'll probably go back and do some modeling, and which she does a lot of that too. She's a fine individual. Oops, that's what I did. Click there. Here he goes. There's the Vogue article. She's tennis. I'm saying goodbye after 28 years and 5 Grand Slams. Sharapova steps away from the game. She was a pretty good tennis player. She came in an era where Serena Williams, the Williams sisters, took up all the air in the room. But she does have 5 Grand Slams to her name, so you know. We report that Maria Sharapova is retiring from pro tennis at age 32, not weary of the game, but tired of fighting her body. Ooh, I know some people would like to. Never mind. Once number 1, she won 5 slam singles and earned tens of millions on and off the court. By force of will, personality, she was one of the game's true stars. And again, she was a good tennis. She's super tall and had long reach. Just the Williams sisters just overpowered her, though. Anyway, moving on. Harry Ween. Okay, Harry Styles, the musician. He's kind of the American version of K-pop, if you ask me. He's announced an album called Harry Ween. Me in the Pit of Harry Ween. Okay, I don't know. Harry Styles, 2 nights only, Madison Square Garden. Harry Ween. Oh, I see. October 30th and 31st, 2020. He's going to do a special Madison Square Garden concert. Fancy dress party with special guest Orville Peck. I have no idea who that is, and I couldn't give a rat's beetoot about Harry Styles either. Renovation. RT is a Russian propaganda network. There's nothing good about them. They are there only to push Putin's agenda to harm the West. The Dems might be lunatics, but RT is indeed cancer. You know, there are a lot of like banned lefty journalists that have shows on RT. I think of, well, Ed Schultz did. I think Phil Donahue was on RT for a while. who's that other? Aaron Matei's on RT. A lot of them are the American super progressive left have shows on RT America. RT, regular RT, yes, it's a Russian propaganda network. Or, you know what? I think CNN is an American propaganda network. Of course, they're going to be at least favorable or neutral towards Russia itself. But the American version of RT is a lot of progressive lefties. And I'm no fan of progressive lefties. Remember that? I'm certainly not. I'm aware of what RT is. Anyway, all right, so Harry Styles, that was there. Let's see, Ed Schultz, who's been dead for 2 years. Ed Schultz is trending now, though. For crying out loud, this was from 2016. The host of that program, Ed Schultz, has since passed away. You John Cooper tweets should apologize and take this down. Oh, so that's John. Oh, I didn't look to see. I thought John Cooper was a MAGA type. I immediately saw the flag and assumed. John Cooper, chairman of the Dem Coalition, formerly campaign chair for Barack Obama. Any endorsements here reflect my personal opinions. That's hilarious. I find this hilarious. He's part of the establishment Democrats trying to take down Bernie, talking about Russia. Oh my gosh, I've never seen an establishment Democrat talk about Russia. Oh my gosh. All right, moving on. Coronavirus is trending. Now, this wasn't trending this morning. Coronavirus is trending. Donald Trump is protecting himself from the new virus he just discovered, the coronavirus. Okay, because Trump spelled coronavirus wrong. Oh, for fuck's sake. Y'all just can't. Oh my God. Okay, so remember, Donald Trump is a bit of a jackass and sometimes doesn't spell things right on Twitter. He doesn't care. There's no proofread or anything like that on Twitter, so there you go. And all these, oh boy, God. Oh my God. Yes, everyone, okay. Well, you know what? At least people are talking about coronavirus, no matter how you spell it. Oh my God. Bring in the boss is trending. Why? Let's see. Bring in the boss sure seems like the kind of troll crypto socialist Bloomberg consultant would pitch. Team Bloomberg. Oh, because they have a hat. We've got something in the shop for our capitalist friends. Not a socialist hat. Bring in the boss on the back. You know what? I could see myself buying that hat if it wasn't sold by Bloomberg. So apparently, let's see, bringing the boss is hilarious because it's not even like personal empowerment capitalism. It's just straight up sucking off a billionaire hat. Not a socialist with Bernie bringing the boss on the back makes this the ultimate bootlicker chic. You know the Bernie bros ain't happy about this shit. Mike thinks he earned his obscene wealth all on his own. You know what, Mr. Bloomberg? It wasn't you who made all that money. Maybe your workers played some role in that as well. Bring in the boss. Bring in Bernie. Bernie is a gangster. Oh, okay. Oh my God. Bring in the boss. You do realize that the president of the U.S. isn't supposed to be our boss, right? He is our employee, a public servant. The American people are supposed to be the boss. Does we the people ring a bell? Yes, it does. But I still think the not a socialist side of that hat I kind of like. But again, we're not doing the back of it. Moving on. Okay, coronavirus. Pete Weber. Is he the bowler? 8 years ago today, Pete Weber, the bad boy of bowling, uttered an iconic battle cry that would echo through sports for generations to come. Here it is. Wait a minute. Here's Pete Weber. This is great.
Strike to claim it. A strike to claim it. And he got it!
That's number 5. Are you kidding me? That's right. Who do you think you are? I am.
Happy 8th birthday to Who Do You Think You Are? I Am from Pete Weber. The look of simultaneous pride and terror on Tracy Weber's face will always be the best part of that. So it's the anniversary of Pete Weber getting very excited about that strike. Who do you think you are? I am. And that's why Pete Weber's trending today. He's going to trend over here. Jim Clyburn is... Oh, here's Jim Clyburn. We talked about this yesterday. James Clyburn has officially endorsed Joe Biden. South Carolina Representative James Clyburn endorses Joe Biden. Our challenge is to make the greatness of this country accessible and affordable to all. Nobody with whom I've ever worked in public life is any more committed than Joe Biden. Now that, you know what? That's pretty big in South Carolina. At least among the 65% of the black Democrats are very... he's been a fixture in Congress.
In his letter from Birmingham City Jail.
Oh, my God. No, he didn't.
That he was coming to the conclusion that the people of ill will in our society was making a much better use of time than the people of goodwill.
Okay.
And he feared that we would regret
his endorsement
not just
should go a long way for Joe Biden.
Words and deeds of bad people,
but
for the appalling silence of good people. The appalling silence of good people. I decided, after that experience last Friday with that elderly constituent and my background experiences and studies of Martin Luther King Jr., that I would break my silence today.
Okay.
And I'm saying to the media, I've known for a long time who I'm going to vote for. But I had not decided whether or not to share it with the public. But I want the public to know that I'm voting for Joe Biden. South Carolinians should be voting for Joe Biden, and here's why.
Okay, so I'm not going to go into it, but anyway, let's see. The backing of Clyburn, the highest-ranking black member of Congress, could provide a boost to the former vice president in the state's Democratic primary on Saturday. Interesting how the media narratives work. This endorsement basically being met with shrugs today, but if Clyburn's prized South Carolina endorsement had gone to anyone else, it would have been treated as huge news. Well, it's still treated as huge news. It's certainly right up here in CNN Politics, and it's trending on Twitter today. So I'm not sure Eric Boehlert, now Eric Boehlert is he's a Media Matters guy. I think he's still with Media Matters, or at least formerly staffer of Media Matters, Salon, Rolling Stone, and Billboard. Anyway, he's established with Dem Central, and so he's complaining that this didn't make a big enough splash. It's trending on Twitter today, Eric. You don't have to worry. Your favorite establishment Democrat is still in the bidding. Okay. Moving on. Project Veritas is trending. What'd they do now? What did they do? New for Project Veritas. ABC correspondent David Wright says, I'd consider myself a socialist. Admits to spiking stories, calls voters poorly informed, and says the network doesn't give Trump credit for what things he does do. Interesting. You might have to. I'll tell you what. Here's what I'm gonna do. We're not gonna watch this one, but I am gonna put this in the chat right now because it's a few minutes long and I'm running out of time here. Go ahead and go watch the latest video from Project Veritas. We'll probably get a chance to talk about this tomorrow. But, anytime Project Veritas is trending on Twitter, it's either really good or they got banned from somewhere. Nice to see in fact, didn't they even get banned from Twitter for a while? I know they were, obviously they're back, or James O'Keefe is back. probably one of those mistakes that Twitter makes every once in a while. You know, the mistakes they make. Right. Anyway, directed by Taylor Swift. Oh, what is she? What? Okay. She made the Man music video, Taylor Swift. Hey, I'm Taylor Swift, and this is a music video starred by Taylor Swift and directed by Taylor Swift for the song Man, written by Taylor Swift. Okay, she directed one of her own music videos, and she made sure you knew about it. The Man music video, directed by Taylor Swift, and it's going to premiere tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay, I am waiting with bated breath. All right, last couple things. Chocker, I don't know what that is. It's trending in politics, though. Is this some... Oh, yep, it's something that Donald Trump wrote. So it is trending. Okay. Oh, my God. Crazy, chaotic Democratic debate last night. Fake news said Biden did well, even though he said half our population was shot to death, would be over for most. Mini Mike was weak and unsteady, but helped greatly by his many commercials, which are not supposed to be allowed during a debate. Pocahontas was mean and undisciplined, mostly aiming at Crazy Bernie and Mini Mike. They don't know how to handle her, but I know she's a chocker. I think he meant choker. I'm pretty confident. Steyer was a disaster too, along with many who are setting records for dollars per vote. Just give me an opponent. Now, what's hilarious about this is Chalker's trending, right? The only reason I don't sub to Donald Trump. But I'm reading this tweet on my show today. Why? Because Chalker, the word he spelled wrong, is trending on Twitter. I also read another tweet by Donald Trump today because a word he spelled wrong is trending on Twitter. Y'all, okay, all you Trump haters are, you're suckers. You are suckers. Suckers. Gunfox, email it to me. I'll check that out later. Y'all are suckers. Because what was the other one that was trending that Trump had today? Coronavirus. Now, guess what? Everyone on Twitter's reading coronavirus because it's trending. And so that's good information. Maybe it's good information from Trump. I don't know. I don't even care. I don't follow Donald Trump on Twitter. But I read his tweets every day because they trend every day because the hating established TDS has taken over the world. And so that's how I keep up with Donald Trump. I know when he spells something wrong, I read the tweet. Ann Coulter is trending number 18 because she it's kind of funny because she tweeted something and everyone says that it's an endorsement for Elizabeth Warren. Ann Coulter says, Senator Warren has convinced me that Bernie isn't that worrisome. He'll never get anything done. She's the freak who will show up with 17 idiotic plans every day and keep everyone up until it gets done. Yeah, so anyway, so people are saying, okay, Ann Coulter's, you guys, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I agree with Ann Coulter. This volatile mermaid, Fox News. Liz Warren will steal from the rich and give to the poor. Me, cool. Mark Zuckerberg. Liz Warren is an existential threat to my business. Me, right on. Ann Coulter. Liz Warren scares me. Guys, I already like her, okay? You don't have to sell her this hard. So the leftists who hate Ann Coulter are going to like Liz Warren even more. Okay, fine. I hope Liz Warren jumps up in the polls because of Ann Coulter. And I hope that Joe Biden jumps up in the polls because of South Carolina. And I hope Pete Buttigieg jumps up in the polls because he won Iowa and he's kind of in there. And then we're going to go to the Democratic convention and they're all going to have like between 15 and 17% support. And then they're all going to have this broker convention. And then Donald Trump will run against Hillary Clinton. I will be voting for Hillary Clinton. Excuse me, I won't. That was a Casey Neistat line. But anyway, they're going to have a broker convention. Milwaukee's going to burn, and nobody's going to want to vote for any of these crazies. All right, moving on. Last but not least, Somebody named David Wright is trending on Twitter, and that's on the list of my list today. And that's because James O'Keefe has the senior ABC correspondent, David Wright, saying that he is a socialist. Okay. So there you go. That's the Project Veritas thing. Go watch that today. And that's kind of it for me today because I got to go. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I'm glad you showed up. And if you haven't done so already, before you go, make sure you hit the like button, the thumbs up right down there on the old YouTubes. I think PDawg already did the don't like, so that, or not the thumbs down. That's PDawg's thing. Don't worry about it. I don't care if I have thumbs down. Just if you interact, that's great. Also, just a reminder, we're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 3 p.m. GMT for those people in other parts of the world, like my friend Richo down under. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure you share this stream on Twitter, email, Facebook, Tumblr, Pinterest, whatever. You know, what's the one where you have the threads, the Reddit too. I should, I wonder if I have a Reddit subreddit anywhere. I should start a PDawg Night subreddit. I know we're gonna Gunfox. I'm talking to you specifically. We are going to do the Discord thing. I just haven't gotten to it. My basketball season ends Friday technically, although then I got to hang out with the varsity for a couple weeks throughout the playoffs. And when my basketball season's over, we'll get on that Discord thing, and I'll start editing all these videos that I've started and haven't even gotten into. Anyway, thank you for being here, everybody. I gotta go. Hope you had fun today. Hit the like button before you go, and have a fantastic day. Mine is PDawg Night. My name is what did I say? My name is PDawg Night, and I'm out of here. Have a great day. Hey, this is PDawg Night, and thank you for watching today on the PDawg Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Night, and I'm out of here.